Everyone, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be talking about changing passwords and changing the attributes that go with the passwords in regards to aging. Okay. All right. So as always, I'm referencing the web page here that I made. And yeah, so when managing user passwords, we use the change age, password, and user mod. And after making any changes, we want to check the locations of the files that reference those things. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing we want to do, right, let's look at what users we have. So I just ran this command to cat the etc shadow. And as you can see, I do use sudo there. So because if you try to do it without it, you get the permission denied there, okay? And then so let's go back here. So yeah, so if we look here, we can see our attributes down here, for example, for the user learner, okay? And then sometimes, you know, you can grep it. That way you're not looking at so many things and just looking at the user in particular. So here in our case, we're looking at learner. And so if we look at the first command, we're gonna look at, it's called change age, and we just man that, change user password expiry information. And yeah, this is super helpful. This is pretty much anything related to the aging and the min days and max days. It's going to be your first choice here. But with respect to the objective, it says change passwords and adjust password aging for local user account. So let's change the password first, okay? So let's do this. We'll do password, so that's what we're going to use, man passwd, right? So you always want to, first thing you want to do is, like I said, check the man page of the command that we want to run for changing the password. And so that's going to be the password utility to update the user's authentication token, so previous the password. And then so what we're going to do here, we've switched to root here. And that way we can avoid any problems with permissions or anything like that. And we can choose the user like this, learner, like that. And then now we change him and give him a new password, or her. And we can say boom, like that. And as you can see, you get this error here. But with root, you can do anything that you want really on the system. And so that's how we change the password there. So that's super simple. That's something that we should be able to do, especially if you forget the password for a user and they need to reset or something like that. And then so one thing that we can do is we can etc, we can cat the etc shadow like this, okay? And we can see here learner there, okay? And we can just grab that real quick, that way we don't look at it. Grab learner like this. Okay, so we're looking at that, okay? Now, that's changing the password. The next thing we want to do is changing some of the attributes, right? So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change something like one option at a time to see what changes apply in the etc password, okay? So let's say, for example, we just want to look at it first, right, to see what attributes we can change. So let's do that first. So let's do, for example, the max days the user, the max number of days during which a password is valid. So let's change the max days, okay? And then so what we'll do here is change age, right? And then we'll just do 36 like I have here on the page. And then we'll put in here learner, okay? And so now what we can do is we can grep learner, then we can see here that number changed here, okay? So 36 days, and that's the max days, and then they'll have to change the password, okay? And so if we go back, we can see that reflected here. Set the number of maximum days during which your password is valid, max days, okay? And there it is. So that's a simple change, right? And again, the commands can be combined to do a lot more things at one time, okay? But I wanted to show you one change and how we can see it in the Etsy shadow, okay? Another way we can check it as well is by using the L command. So we can do here the L option, right? And there you go. Maximum days between password change, like this. This is a little clearer, okay? So you got multiple places you can check it. We've already changed the password for one account. And then another one that we want to do is we want to do user mod, but I want to show you what happens with user mod and why we shouldn't use it, okay? So let's do that. So let's look at user mod. So man user mod, like this. And one of the actions that we want to look at, or options, is going to be the password one, right? Because we can lock, we can unlock accounts, it's fine. So it's going to be here, this one, okay? This option is not recommended, okay? And the reason is because we saw how password, right? It kept working with this kind of, this hash here, right? Or that an encryption. What this does is it does not do that. So if we go user mod, what option was that again? We go user mod password, right? And then we just put learner here, right? Oh, here, that's another thing too. The argument is going to be here. So if we just do pass 1, 2, 3 like this, and then we put learner, right? It changes it, right? But if you look here at the Etsy shadow, see, no encryption here, okay? So this is clear text, not secure, okay? So that's why we don't use it. So now to fix this is we can just password learner like this, okay? We just give them a new password here, okay? And then there we go. And then we're back. We're back to the encryption, okay? And it's something important there. And then other things that we can do, for example, is we can look at the Etsy login defaults like this. And here we can see that there are a number of options. And then so what's important here is that if we wanted to change something in here, for the default, we can. So if we can choose, so for example, let's do this one here. Let's change the max days, okay? So for example, we can go here, we can VI it, looks a little different, and then we can change that one that we saw for the max days, right? So if we wanted to change this, like this, let's leave it at, let's change it to, let's just do 180. So we'll do 180, we'll go end here, we'll do 180 here, okay? And then we'll save it. Then what we'll do is do a user add, and we'll just say Jose here, like this. And then what we'll do, we'll give me a password, Jose, and then like that. Okay, and then what we'll do here is that we'll now look at the Etsy shadow, right? Right, so we can see me there. And then what we want to look at here is what we changed. As you can see now, I have that option, right, for the max. So as you can see, the defaults apply to any users after you make the change, okay? And then I think that's all I have for this lab. Again, other things like locking an account, unlocking an account, I think are pretty self-explanatory, and I recommend that you try and do them yourself. And yeah, just look at the options, look at what's available to you, and then make sure you have a place to reference those things. That way you can see the actual changes in the system and what files are getting referenced, okay? Thank you so much.